All right, we are live, but we will wait just a moment. We're going to see if Santi can join us today. But he's probably busy getting all the previews up and doing all that stuff. It's been quite a day. All right, why don't we get started? So, hey everyone, welcome to. There he is. Hey, Santi.
Hey. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we're good. Actually, let's all do a test. Everybody say something. Test.
Check
Test,
1,
test.
2.
Check
Hi.
1, 2. Good.
All
Show
this
me.
time? Yep.
All right, we're good. Okay.
Great.
All right. Well, welcome to our live Q&A. We're just announcing the Musio Marketplace, which is now including third-party libraries from developers like Project Sam, Sound Iron, Audio Ollie, of course, Sinn Samples, and there'll be more to come. And so what we're going to do is just answer your questions. So if you can, in the comments in the YouTube channel here, start making some questions, and then we will answer them for you. But I thought we would start first, which is a commonly asked question, which is sort of like, before we get to the third-party stuff, just talk a little bit about, the history a little bit of Musio 1, subscription, what the marketplace is. And maybe I will throw that over to you, Brandon. Do you want to take that one? So explain,
Sure,
what does this mean for people? I guess the question would be, for people that have purchased Musio 1, which is very popular, what does that mean for them?
Yeah, so if any Musio 1 users have access to everything that was included from Sinn Samples in Musio up through the end of 2024. So that's, over 2,300 instruments across more than 90 sample library collections. And nothing about that changes at all with the launch of the Museo Marketplace. No new instruments will be added, but they will continue to receive new app and feature updates like we did with the microphone positions recently. They'll get those automatically, just like anyone else. But they can, with the Museo Marketplace, they can now optionally purchase new libraries that come out from us and also from third-party developers separately as kind of a la carte purchases.
Right. So basically now when you go into Musio, what you'd see, I'll kind of bring it up here. Why not? It all looks the same. This is if you're in the full catalog view. You can see everything that's available to get in Musio. And if you see here, there's a little blue M+. That means that if you have, if you're one of the subscribers, you get access to that instrument. If it doesn't have the blue M+, it's most likely it's going to be a third-party developer. It's like, here's Project Sam, True Strike. And if you want to get this one, let me see. I'm on beta here, so it may not be the best example to show.
Yeah, you already own it, so
you already have.
Okay, I already own it. But if you check it out on your end, there's a little button here that would take you to be able to just purchase that one sound set, and then just a couple of steps, and it's available in your plugin without having to download other sampler formats. It literally downloads right within the plugin in your DAW, so it's nice and kind of consolidated. So, yeah. Okay, we got some questions coming in. Keep the questions coming in. Are these third-party libraries included with the Musio Plus subscription? Go ahead. Who wants to take it? All right, I'll take it. So the Musio Plus, the third parties right now are not in the subscription. This isn't to say that maybe that could happen in the future, but we're not, as of today, it's not, because this is something we'd have to work out with the developers. But all of the stuff that's in there now and all of the stuff that we've created internally is in the Musio Plus subscription. And you can see what it is by checking if it has that, blue M logo on it, then you know that it's in it. Okay, from Tyler Snow. He says, hey, for third parties, will the features be compared to their contact alternatives? Wait, will the features compared to their contact alternatives be identical? And will it be on a rollout basis like the Sinn Samples stuff? All right. Who wants to take that? Maybe Santi.
Sure. Yeah, so as far as the samples, it is the same samples. It was a very similar porting process than we did with our Sinn Sample stuff. So all the samples, mic positions, round robins, legato transitions, like all of that gets ported over. There are in contact some features that are script based, and those might be different between the contact instruments and the Musio instruments. The good thing is that in Musio, a lot of the features that are part of contact are just native. So that's how we make it a little more lightweight. And like it's just going to be maybe slightly different QA in one platform than the other, but it is the same samples and the complete collections. Like we're not leaving anything out.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
and I'll follow up. There may be some other features in general that we're trying to implement in Musio for some of these contact features. That as we add them to Musio, we'll roll them out to every collection, whether it's first party, whether it's a third party one, whether you have paid for Museo Plus or you've bought a la carte, or you're actually on the free Museo Essentials, the basic package. Any new features will be added to those instruments.
As we have bandwidth for, because Santi's only one person. But let us know
Right.
if there is something in the contact version that you see that we don't have. Let us know, because we do. Let us support know, because we do take that into account when we plan our development. So if a lot of people are asking for a specific thing, we will do our best to address it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Ben Elliott says, is there a process for trying to get a library onto the marketplace? I think we're going to see a lot of this question coming up. A lot of people want to maybe be part of this. They're not necessarily big developers, but they might have some instruments that they've made themselves, and they have them in other formats, probably Contact or some other, maybe EXS or something. How would they go through that process?
I guess.
Well, we kind of, Our Johnny is usually the guy in charge of that, who's asking. He's answering the questions there, but I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead, Harrison.
Well, so just in general, like there is an editor that we use in house to sort of get these instruments built, but it's not something that we're going to release publicly. So you can't really develop direct for Musio at the moment. But if you're using Contact, EXS, any sampler format, right? You've kind of built something, you've QA'd it, you really like how it sounds, and you think it deserves to be out there on a marketplace. Maybe you've explored the Native Instruments route or some other platforms. Our platform, I'm very proud, is pretty. It's a white glove service where if you're going to give your product over, there's some agreements we have to go through, and more details would come out as you go through that process. But you hand us your baby and we will put it on the marketplace, and you will get royalties for sales, and there'll be a process of giving you a monthly report and all that. And most of the collaboration is just setting prices, figuring out sale prices, giving us your artwork, signing off on how the instruments are, and just try to make it as easy as possible for anybody who wants to onboard.
Yeah, that's the hardest part. I mean, making the instruments is difficult enough. Like doing recording sessions, sampling, chopping, making really high quality instruments. But then if you're basically running a small business, now you have to create a website, and you have to choose a payment provider, and then you got to do customer service. It's like a whole thing. And some people, they don't want to deal with any of that. And what's cool is you've got us to just handle everything for you. But I'm curious, Santi, if you want to just go into briefly, what is that process like? Because you've already done it now with 4 major developers some really complex libraries. You know, what does that look like from your perspective? You get this instrument from a developer, and now it's in Musio. What did you do? How did that happen?
Well,
it's all AI. Just use AI.
Yeah,
No.
we wish, right? Press a button.
Yeah.
Well, we look very hard at the contact instrument, like, you know, like really try to understand what's going on behind the scenes. We have some experience, I think, with contact instruments as well, and we've seen a lot of different kinds of instruments. So when it comes to replicating, you know, acoustic instruments or synthesizers and the usual stuff that we have in our catalog, you know, we have a platform that allows for a very easy workflow in terms of how to QA and edit these instruments. So we can gather a lot of information from the contact instrument and port it directly into Musio. And from there on, it's a pretty like native Musio editing process, which, you know, it's a very, very fast process, I would say, compared to when we've had to create instruments for other platforms.
Great.
If I can, if I can, I think address what this person had asked. If you are someone who has instruments that you want to be in the marketplace, we don't necessarily have, I think, a defined process for that yet. We certainly talked about why do we want to open up the marketplace. Currently, we're just sort of are doing it piece by piece with a few developers, and we'll probably have more to say about that in the future. But
yeah,
I think right now it's probably still the case, right?
Right. Yeah, we're kind of just reaching out to our friends and colleagues at this point, but there might be a place on the website where you can, you know, find a way to like automate that process. Would be awesome 2 years from now or something. Or yeah, actually creating a tool that people use to build instruments. But that's way in the future. Okay, we already have our first request from Christopher Sky. He says it would be cool to make filters so that it's possible to choose which developers' instruments are visible. Yep, I agree. We'll get there. Put that in the feedback so that these guys.
Absolutely.
By the way, these two guys, when you send the feedback, it goes to Harrison and Toby and Brandon mostly.
Actually, all of us.
Actually, all of us. Yeah, instrument feedback. Instrument specifically goes to, I think, to Santi. So
yeah,
cool. What else we got here? Okay, Snad says Musio subscriptions will be based on tiers in the future to justify adding pricier third parties to the service. Maybe, I don't know.
If I could pitch one possibility. Now, none of our third parties have requested for a subscription plan, and we haven't really figured out or just really done the brainstorming on how that works. But what it would likely be is if you're a subscriber right now, let's say you're a monthly subscriber, you have Musio Plus in your monthly recurring payment. It wouldn't be an enhanced Musio Plus. You would probably throw on maybe like a Sound Iron Plus, or let's just say everybody has a Plus version. You would just add on like, oh, it's $5 for Sound Iron extra or something like that. But again, this is speculating. There's a lot that goes into just I guess the intent of a subscription. As Musio and Sinn Samples, we have a full intent to continue rolling out new first-party content in that subscription. So not every developer is ready to kind of take on that mandate, if you will.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a way to figure that out, but we need to hear from you guys. Like, what do you want? And we'll make it. Let's see. Here, Nigel says, as a comment, I'm seeing multiple mic positions are now appearing on more and more of my Musio instruments. That's way cool. Having access to dry, close mics are particularly helpful and really appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, Santi and the team, like, that was rolled out over time. It wasn't something that could happen all in one fell swoop. So I think it's all in there now, right? I think that whole process is pretty close to done.
Yeah, I think all of the collections that had multi mics available are already converted, and you know, as we go on, we're going to try to make other instruments multi mic and make use of that feature. but everything that's released has the mics that it will have.
Great. Okay, this is a good question, and this is a question we're getting a lot, so we're going to keep repeating ourselves until everybody in the world knows the answer to this. This is Steven. He says, hello from Ireland. Hello. I'm very confused about the labeling you are using. I'm a subscriber to Musio. I assume that is Musio 1. So what is Musio Plus, and how do I get it? Steven. Okay. Who wants to take it? We mentioned it briefly, but
I could jump on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, previous subscribers, when you were checking out, you might have seen something called Musio All Access. That's what we kind of called our subscription package. And along the way, we came up with Musio 1, which was our first and at the time only perpetual license available. And that was in reaction to, in general, the audio music tech market wants to see both. Different people want different things. And as we rolled out the third-party libraries, we rebranded Musio All Access to Musio Plus. So that's really what Musio Plus is. It is the subscription branch of the curated set of instruments you can get for a recurring amount. I should also mention, if you apply for the EDU 1-year license, that's also Musio Plus. You're just buying 1 year of it at a time. So yeah, big difference between that and Musio 1, as Brandon mentioned earlier in the stream, right? Musio 1 is a fixed set of content. You pay for it once, you have it forever, but there will be no new content in that license.
Great. Okay, this is from Guybrush. Can you tell us a bit about Museo Essentials? Are those libraries permanently free? And is a time-limited trial of the full Museo Plus still available? Helps to know when recommending Museo to friends. Yeah, let's start with the first question. What is the Museo Essentials? That's a new thing as well. We didn't really talk about it too much.
Yeah, you want to talk about it, Santi?
Yeah, sure. The Museo Essentials is going to be a set of content that's included with your license. So once you create your account, you correct me if that's correct, Harrison, but once you create your account, you get licenses for the Museo Essentials, and you'll always have access to that. No cost. And we plan to keep adding some new content to Museo Essentials. So it's a small but always growing set of content.
So basically, somebody could just go to museo.com, create a free account, download Museo, and they have these instruments for free. They don't have to pay anything. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
On the follow-up,
yeah,
you asked about the limited trial. So Museo used to have a timed license that was kind of freely granted to access all of the content in the platform, or Museo Plus, which it is now. You have to, that free trial is now part of the subscription. We kind of saw a bit of overuse, sometimes a lot of, I'll call them zombie accounts, and it was just producing a lot of aimless trials and churn and all this stuff. So we kind of raised the bar a little bit. You have to kind of subscribe, enter a credit card, put a little bit more into the platform to get the free trial for Museo Plus. But to balance that out, we included the Museo Essentials because we, as you know, we're the people who are supporting Museo, and we want to make sure that you have a chance to test drive the platform on your machine before you put any money in. Does it work? Does it work for you? So yeah, that's kind of the balance between the two. Museo Essentials is included and always available for every account. The 7-day trial for the Museo Plus subscription is available for everyone. You get one shot at it. If you want to try it again, let us know. We can look into that. We might do some more other shenanigans with trials, but yeah.
Yeah, we have talked about other ways we can offer one-off trials for certain things. Nothing to announce yet, but we've sort of done some brainstorming about how we can make that really easy. So maybe we'll add some stuff in that department in the future, but no promises yet.
Yeah, right. I have lots of brainstorms on, also trying third-party licenses also might be a really huge boon, because we do have the in-app preview, so you can get like a curated, here's a really short demo of it, but yeah, maybe a weekend trial of True Strike would be amazing.
Yeah, and that's the genius behind what these guys have built here is the flexibility of being able to like do something we really couldn't have done this before with other sampler formats. There's so much possible ways of serving
And
music
no,
creators, you know?
no iLock required.
No iLock. No offense to iLock, but
No, I'm just kidding.
let's see. That's another question here. Does your Musio subscriptions from William Scolaro? Does your Musio subscription have to be active to use libraries purchased from the new marketplace through the Musio app plugin? No, you don't need a subscription. You can just.
I'm assuming if they're asking, do they need to maintain a Musio Plus subscription in addition to purchasing the a la carte licenses?
No.
If that's what they're asking, then no.
No, like you can have a subscription that you use for composing and you have everything, but maybe there's 1 or 2 collections that you just want to have forever. And you can do that.
Mhm.
So, okay. Then there's security and web service costs. It goes on. So that's a great service you are offering. Yes. Thank you for recognizing that. Hey, big fan of Musio. Was wondering what the progress on microphone routing is. Oh, yes. Go ahead, Toby.
Yeah, very close. We are sitting on it, almost finished, and we just need to spend a little bit more time just polishing up a couple of things, but very soon.
You basically, with the term we use a lot here is we're building the plane while it's flying, you know, and we're just getting it out there to get you guys using it. Even though it may not be 100%, it's like 95% done. But it's always 95% done, I think. It'll never be 100%.
Yeah, it is coming. 100%.
Yeah.
It is coming
Yeah.
very soon.
Yeah.
I think that's really useful.
I'll say, yeah, please keep sending in feedback about what you want. We, there's a big, the marketplace of features in samplers is huge, and we really like to evaluate the best approach for each of them. So your feedback is great for telling us what's important and why it's important and how we should approach it. So please keep the feedback coming.
For the uninitiated, what exactly is music? That's a general. I will come back to that. That's a pretty. How about any plan for crossgrade? This is from Pokester. Any plan to crossgrade to Musio version for any instruments or third-party libraries if I own the Contact versions? Audio Ollie, for example. That's interesting. That's interesting. I think
it really.
Have we talked about that?
I don't think we have, but my gut says that kind of would start with a third party. So, reach out to their support, and we'll also consider maybe bringing it up. We now have some customer feedback for folks wanting a cross-grade option. Yeah, that's something we'll consider.
Possibly, yeah. Let's see here. Here's... I'm sorry, that's Japanese. I cannot read that, but they say congratulations on the launch of launch of the marketplace. I have a question. I bought a perpetual license for Musio, but I still feel like there's almost no difference between me and people with Musio 1. Oh, he's probably talking about the lifetime.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you got the lifetime early on. There's new instruments already that you have that other people don't have. We have the South African choirs, which we recorded down in Cape Town. And then we have several new drum machines. And then there's a whole list. I mean, Santi, I don't know if you want to share. We've got new guitars. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's coming that only you and subscribers are going to get. And Musio 1 people will not have. So you can be happy about that. Let's see. Is the project sharing aspect of Musio making collaboration between composers easier, still a priority? Or are there problems introduced by the new catalog that required a pivot from this philosophy? Yeah, I mean, go ahead. I mean, if you're sharing a session with somebody who doesn't have everything you have, they may have to just get up to speed with what you have.
You'll still be able to share, obviously, if you're opening a session from someone that has something that you don't. Obviously, we can't automatically charge you for something and then download it. So there's not really anything we can do about that. But you can still do it. I mean, you can still open the session. The instruments that you don't have access to just won't load, but you can safely save your session, send it back. You can still do all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
Now,
and if I
yeah, but Toby, what happens? Doesn't it load, but it just says not authorized? So
Yeah,
it is
so
kind of technically ready to go. It's just
yeah,
it'll let
you
you
won't.
know.
It won't load. You won't hear it.
Yeah,
But
I think the easiest thing to collaborate probably would be through a subscription. Like even if you are not normally subscribed and you just have your own licenses, if you are working on a project with someone, the subscription will get you all of the Musio and Sinn Samples libraries, the content, not the third-party stuff, but still at the time, at least that's most of our content. So as long as you stick with those libraries, you can make sure that you can still collaborate with anyone that has a subscription.
Yeah, there's a little bit we were pretty hardcore about, hey, everyone should have every instrument in this platform. Because we really thought the collaboration aspect was awesome. But I think a little realism kicks in that like a lot of composers fly solo. Obviously, as you scale up your production, you need additional writers, or maybe you have an assistant, or whatever, all the way to the top AAA scoring projects, right? You need to add more people and have their machines in sync. But ultimately, to ask everyone, you need to buy everything, and for us to sell an everything package, it just isn't exactly sustainable for all parties. So a little sacrifice, but we still try to make it, as Toby said, as easy, seamless. There should be no technical troubles, just sharing sessions.
Good. All right, here's another question. I hope my question will not be provocative or some kind of it, but is it possible that you'll collaborate in Musio with Orchestral Tools and Spitfire Audio, or is it impossible? I am friends with both those guys. I am huge fans of Orchestral Tools and Spitfire because I know how difficult it is to do this. I'd be open to it, of course. I think that we're all doing our own thing here, but I think there's so many other smaller developers that we might want to start with first. I think there's so many great instruments out there that no one knows about because they don't have a big brand name behind them. And we're thinking maybe we can help get the word out on those first. So that's my thought. Yeah.
Oh, running out of questions.
Yeah. Someone likes your jacket. So that's the Brandon's wearing the Musio hoodie, which is the old logo. If anyone remembers,
It's the OG.
we should definitely get some swag. That would be cool.
Definitely.
Good evening from Spain. Thanks for your work and for giving composers one of the most complete libraries. I have a question. Do you plan to include Voxos 2 in Musio Plus? That's Voxos. It's the same. The only thing, Santi, if you maybe you want to talk about that. Voxos is the same as the Contact. I think the Contact version was called Voxos 2.
Oh, interesting.
But it's the same. We just took the 2 off.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's the same samples as the Contact version, mic positions and legato transitions and all.
Mm-hmm. Was there anything else we want to talk about? What are we excited about? This was a lot of work.
Yeah,
to get this thing to happen.
Yeah, we've been working on this at the same time as finishing mic positions. We were starting this, and it's been a wild ride.
So so releases should be a little more regular. I think if you have been paying attention, there was a bit of a lull there right before this came out, just because we had so much work to get this out the door. Releases will become a little more regular again, every 2 weeks or so. So you should see some more fixes and small updates more regularly going forward.
Yeah.
Before we jump into another question, I thought I would just shout out the Discord community. I don't know if it's been brought up in chat, but yeah, Johnny, our community guy, and he's kind of managing the chat here today, does such a great job, along with Snad, if that's how you pronounce your name. There's a few moderators. It's such a treat to, I kind of lurk and mostly jump in if there's technical issues people are having, but it's just great to watch people share music, share their joy with Musio, which makes us all feel good when you guys are happy writing music. If you're not writing music, and I don't want to say I'm worried, maybe there's a technical problem, but it's like when you're writing music and you're sharing it, that's like our dream setup.
You guys
So
write music? I just buy libraries and update my template, and I just keep doing
collect them,
that.
just put them all on a shelf. Maybe that's what, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Thank you. I was just gonna ask Johnny if you could put.
Yeah, that I just
a
show.
link.
Yeah, this is the
Mhm.
Discord. You guys need to go check it out. I'm sure we have a link to it somewhere.
It just got posted.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, of course. Johnny's like way ahead of the game here.
Mhm.
But this is great. And general is where we have all our general conversations.
Mhm.
There's a lot of conversation right now. But then my favorite is what Johnny started is this weekly challenge. Every week there's something like a new idea to compose something based off of a certain theme or a concept or an instrument. And we all give each other feedback and try to get the best out of the best out of this community. So it's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't some of the submissions, with the submitter's permission, end up in one of our playlists online?
Yeah. Yeah. So we have a
There we go.
playlist that we do up on SoundCloud. Anyway, go check it out.
Yeah. All right, back to questions. I saw a couple come in. Pokester, are there still libraries planned being worked on from Sinn Samples? Short answer, yes, but I'll pass it to Santi. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a couple that are recorded and playable and everything, and they're close to hitting beta. And we have a couple more that we're planning to record soon. So still lots of work to do, and we also want to keep expanding the marketplace and continue to do instrument fixes. So definitely we're going to continue releasing more stuff, but we want to also do good upkeep on the stuff that we already have out.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, next question from Snad. What are your thoughts on rent to own, and would that be handled by the marketplace, or would individual developers handle purchasing options like that? Yeah, this jumps up. I know, like a great example of rent to own for a high price tier library is the Splice and Spitfire collaboration. Splice offers rent to own, which is very popular, kind of the mix between a subscription and you still get your perpetual. Um, we've talked about this. Currently, our payment provider doesn't default support this, but if I recall, if you choose the PayPal option, PayPal does offer a sort of rent to own, or it's kind of like the Klarna, you pay in payments. It's less detailed like the Splice one, where you can kind of pause and come back to your rent to own, but it is a way to say, hey, I just want to break this up into payments. So definitely try exploring that. There's no plan for rent to own at the moment. Right now, we're just trying to bolster the amount of content in the marketplace and make sure that it hits like a price point that we think is a fair, effective. That's kind of our main goal right now. Cool. Any more questions? I see Musio composing competition soon. Can't remember the last time we had one. I feel like it's been a couple of years.
I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be cool.
I mean, in short of a major one, I mean, join the weekly writing assignment, the weekly challenge for mini competitions. But yeah, it might be nice. Like, a lot of times, like a composing competition or like a film composing competition, we need like a high quality music list, fully permissive video to say, here, score this. That can be tough to find. But yeah, if we get some time and maybe we can find some high quality film to work with, yeah, we've hosted it before, and I'm sure we'd be happy to do it again.
Let's see here. Here's from Nigel. If we have a sample library we've developed, what would be the best way to contact your team about possible collaboration? I would say you reach out to support at
Yeah.
Musio, Brandon.
Yeah. Or Johnny, I don't know if there's an email we set up specifically. If you want, you can post that in chat. If not,
Oh, that's
I
right.
guess we don't have one.
Is it like
We do have the sales at sinnasamples.com email.
Yeah.
That people
Well,
anybody who reached out about this kind of thing before, we had them go into that.
But do we have a musio.com email?
I'm sorry. Sales at No, I think it is Sinn Samples. Sales
Oh,
at
okay.
Sinn Samples, but
Yeah.
we
All
could
right.
we get that
We-
changed up though.
Developers. Oh, there it is. Okay. I wasn't sure if Johnny wanted to say it or not, so he did. Developers at musio.com.
Great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Great.
We haven't really made that public, but now it's public.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll put it on the website or something.
Yeah, we're still cats out of the bag. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So we're still figuring out like criteria selection. Obviously there's a potential for a lot of overlap in instruments, so just bear with us as we like figure out how to best serve the customers, curate it on the platform. Yeah, we'll try to be as transparent as possible because we want this to be the biggest platform yet. I want to just address the word builder one. I know word builder is a very often requested feature to have put into Musio. It's pretty niche for just the vocal libraries as a feature. So there's no direct plan. We kind of try to target our features to be as broad of a affect as many collections as possible, but please keep requesting it. We'll keep adding it into our spreadsheet.
I think
Yeah.
we can be. The word builder would be a significant amount of work. Like
That's-
Harrison said, do request if you want it. It's unlikely to come soon. So if you need to write something with words, you might want to look at something else for now.
Yeah, I mean, but we kind of an alternative that I think is more useful is the way we did it with, and Santi could speak to this, the South African choirs, where you have like all of these consonants and vowels and stuff that you can just perform with your keyboard, and you can
The
switch
key
it in
switch
real
patch,
time
yeah.
just using your keyboard. That way, you're not spending all this time in the user interface writing words out and all of that. You just perform what you want and control it with MIDI. And that's how the South African choirs works. So, yeah,
Yeah, and ultimately, Word Builder would just be an automated version of that.
right, exactly.
Mhm.
Okay, Ron Richardson says, I enjoy the Sinn Samples walkthrough videos on YouTube. I don't think I've seen the same for Musio sounds. I know there's a lot of sounds, but I would enjoy this. Well, I made a whole bunch that are going to come out over the next couple of weeks here for all the new third-party stuff. I actually set up nice. I have the camera over my keyboard here and going through all the different sounds. So
Nice.
hopefully you find that useful. So that combined with all of the previews that you can hear in the app itself should give you a general idea of how these instruments sound.
Mhm.
All right. It's another one. Can you
Christopher
reveal?
Sky.
Yeah. Can you reveal if you've had talks with any other third parties whose instruments might become available in Musio? Yes, but we're not saying. We
They
will
go to a
say when
different
it's
school.
official.
They go to a
Yeah.
different school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your favorite library in Musio?
Ooh. I mean,
I don't know about my
Personal favorites
favorite,
here?
but my personal favorite of the new third party stuff is True Strike. Like,
Yeah.
I was going through that and just adding stuff left and right into my template from that one. It's awesome.
nice.
Yeah.
I find if I want something with a lot of character, honestly, the Gina Luciani flutes really can't go, like I've used it in something a little more jazzy, something a little more classical. They're pretty.
Yeah.
It's just like there's so many flutes too. It's kind of
so
overwhelming.
deeply yeah.
Yeah.
And it's recorded in a giant, beautiful concert hall.
Mhm.
You know, it's very overkill for a flute, but we did it.
Yeah, all the effects in that collection are great. Like overblown and harmonics and runs and
Yeah.
all that stuff is really cool.
I mean, I like both the apocalyptic percussion from Sound Iron and the LA percussion. LA modern percussion from Audio Ali. They both have their own unique character. The apocalyptic percussion, especially, is great because we really were missing some just great trailer percussion We didn't really have that. Like Cineperk is not necessarily trailer; it's more just organic, great orchestral percussion.
Mhm.
The apocalyptic percussion is just like in your face. It's way over the top, and it's like a lot of fun to play. And the LA percussion, LA modern percussion is great. It's all Warner Brothers scoring stage with Alan Meyerson. I think Oliver, who owns the company there, he did a great job with that. So both of those are great.
Yeah, LA modern percussion and scoring synths from Audio Ollie. I just love the synths,
Yeah.
like with the full mic set in. I think it's in Ocean Way Studio, right? And
Yep.
you can, just set up the synths in whatever room sound you want, and it all sounds great.
Yep. We did an interview with Oliver, which is coming out on Friday, explaining that whole process. He basically set up speakers in a scoring stage, and they were all playing sounds from a Moog synthesizer, and then he captured them using this vast array of microphones in the scoring stage. So it's great because it blends really well with symphonic stuff. So,
Nice.
let's see. From Film Score Life. Love Musio. I use it every day. Any ideas on a more realistic legato for non-solo cellos and violins? How often do you revisit the libraries to make tweaks? Similar to CSS? Why you're saying they're not good? Well, no.
I think we can say that we have been working on some improvements to the Legato engine, adaptive Legato, so it responds a little better to how fast or slow you're playing, or maybe different ways that you can control what kind of transition you want. If you want some portamento or a more of a fast transition for runs, there are changes that are coming. It's just we've got some of it already in place and it sounds good, but we didn't want to, release something that was sort of half baked. So we still got a little bit more work to do on some of the time stretching stuff. Once that's in there and we're happy with it, we will be adding that to the existing instruments, and we'll be backporting that to instruments that have already been released. And no, you won't have to pay for that separately. That'll just be added into the instruments that you already have.
Yeah, so maybe just for people to understand, like legato is the leaps between all the different notes. But if you don't have adaptive legato, you're kind of locked to just this sample plays, then this sample plays, then this sample plays, and that's it. Right? But explain, Toby. So maybe like adaptive legato would be if you play a faster passage, it would play the legato faster, depending on
there's a number of
the speed of your performance, right?
Yeah, there's a number of different characteristics that would change the speed, the ways that they fade in, the volumes, that type of thing. So basically responds better to how fast you play or the type of transition that you want.
Yeah,
and
you can play
very important. Yeah, it's super important.
And do submit user feedback when you find issues with the legatos. I think getting updates to specific samples in legato instruments, it's something that maybe trickles a little slow. But when we start to see a lot of problems being submitted for one specific legato instrument, we do go back and check it out and try to update the settings, and even do some manual denoising of one sample here and there, and all of that happens. It's just a little slower than releasing stuff or adding features.
Good. Okay, if you can, what are your current targets with developing new libraries? Is it more contemporary, cinematic, classical, world, broad, stuff like that? I'm interested in the current direction. Well, I think just something for us to understand as a company, we're kind of just is like behind the scenes stuff. We're kind of changing things a little bit where it's going to become more about it's Musio is the company, and Sinn Samples is kind of like just another developer like any other developer. So, although we're all the same team, but we're kind of try to separate that out. That's what we want to try to do. So really, it's kind of like Musio as a company. It's really about surveying the landscape and finding great developers that have already created great instruments and bringing them into Musio. So we're probably are going to, I still would like to make new instruments, but most of the new instruments coming are going to be from other developers. That's why we need your help with letting us know what you want to see in there. Let's see. Yeah, I think we've answered all the questions so far. But I hope everybody enjoys it. What do we do now? Do we keep going? Okay. Why the app is buggy? Why the app is buggy?
Because you
Come on,
didn't
guys.
submit
Why
feedback. That's why. Please submit feedback.
Did you update?
Yeah. We can definitely help if you submit feedback. Our support meeting is tomorrow, and we'll tackle your ticket right then and there.
Yeah.
Great. Glad we could help.
Okay. All right, we'll do a couple more questions here. If we already own the original version of an instrument that has been brought into Musio, do we need to buy them again to use them in Musio? Okay, I guess if they're saying if they have the contact version, yeah, that's a separate format. So if you bought a contact version from Sound Iron or from Sinn Samples, that they're not connected. You'd have to come into Musio to get that version.
Yeah, a similar question was asked above. We haven't talked to third-party developers about a cross-grade, upgrade, whatever it is. Bring it up with those third-party developers. We're taking notes right now about that, so it's something we can bring up about, like, hey, is there a reasonable fee, or if they want to be generous, or however. I don't know. We got to figure that out with them. Yeah.
All right.
I was turning into a live support. W. Kelly, should my African choirs be working? Submit a ticket, and then we can go into more detail. Again, our support meeting is tomorrow, so we can tackle that then.
There was an update that went out today, though, so make sure you've got that.
Yes, this update tackles a couple of authorization issues. Our authorization was extremely strict, so now it's just a little more permissive in terms of timing and all that stuff. So yes, please download. It's what's the version? 143.4. So yeah, check Museo Connect. Go to the Museo portal. You can get the latest there.
Stephen Power. Mike, sorry for asking all the questions that you may have already answered. I didn't hear anything about when the changes will actually start, particularly when can we buy the new products? Right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right now. You go to museo.com. You can do it there. Best thing would be, I think, if you already have Museo, is to kind of go into Museo and see what's there. And then you can click little icons on there that show, like, was it like a little store icon on each collection? Yeah, and you can click that, and it'll take you to the storefront page and get the instrument there, and then that'll unlock it. So, yeah, it's all there. What are your future plans for Museo? Will it be kind of a contact-esque sampler in the end? What is your vision? Yeah. I mean, I would say I don't want to keep comparing ourselves to Contact, because I don't think that we're doing those things a little bit differently. It's not about making this really complex kind of sampler. It's about making something that's really useful for music creators, if that makes any sense. Like really focusing on the sound quality, the instrument quality. What are your thoughts, guys? Because this is a conversation we need to have. It's like, what's next? We're just been like head down on just getting this thing out. So
yeah, if I may, since we started, one through line that I've seen is simplicity and accessibility. Like most of the changes that we try to make, keep the instruments and the collection simple, and the plugin and the packages that we sell and all of that accessible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to dig into that keyword sampler, I think some folks would be very specific and say what Museo is not a sampler. You cannot sample your own audio with it. It is what some would call a Rompler, where you're downloading instruments and you're just playing them back, and that's it. So I see Musio being a Rompler going forward. To be very specific, there are so many perks that we get. The first one, that if you're intermediate composer, maybe you've done some commercial stuff, or you like having a big orchestral template. If you've used Contact, because it is a sampler, that means all of the settings end up being stored in your session's host data, and that means your session template can be 100 megabytes plus. With Musio, because we're more Rompler, we just store the very minimum changes needed, and you can have a massive template in, say, like a Logic Pro session that's only 1 megabyte or something like that. It means loading is very fast. There's just so many perks to be had to just limit it to you're playing predefined instruments. Contact also has a lot of features, but I think the future of Musio, I'm a broken record, but please submit feedback and feature requests. This is a road you guys, the customers, are super important to just how we craft the instrument. We're all professionals in composition, or we've had histories of film scoring. I think everyone here has done film scoring in a professional capacity in one way or another. So we've kind of seen the range of, from when we started writing music as, high school, university kids, all the way to like grinding a deadline because it's going to be aired on TV the next week or whatever. So the skill range is huge, and as Santi said, what's important for Musio is it does have to cover the whole range. So it means simple things like any Musio instrument should never not make sound. It seems simple, but like there are some instruments I've seen out in Contact where they're like, there's a learning curve to get it to make sound, or not everyone has the biggest keyboard, or is ready to dive into complex MIDI CC articulation switching. So
Right.
yeah, it starts where we're at now, built upon your feedback and making sure it has the best supported, widest range of content.
Yeah, and I'll just show feedback is really important. I'm probably a broken record here, but
Thank
there's
you.
2 places to do feedback. So I'm on the instrument here. This little gear icon, submit instrument feedback. That's if there's something specific with the instrument, right?
I'll say real quick, the pop-up isn't showing in your screen capture.
Oh, bummer. Well, there is
like
a
a little
pop-up. Okay, you don't see it, but there's a pop-up that says submit instrument feedback right here. Click it, and then does that show? Oh, good,
Yep,
good.
that shows. Yeah.
This is great. Submit. And then that's just for that instrument. And then you can do, if you have just general app feedback, like maybe something's just broken or there's something buggy, go up here and do this. Does it all go to the same place, guys, or is it definitely separated?
They're separate.
It
Two
does,
separate
but
They are
separate.
separate. Okay.
Mhm.
Just want to make sure I'm not saying something.
They go to the same place, but I separate them out.
This is also great.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, sorry,
go
real
ahead.
quick, Harrison. Like,
Mhm.
please, if you're comfortable, please include log files, right? Like, it's not automatic that thing is checked, but always check that. And that'll send a lot more information that helps the team kind of figure out what's going on. And then include attachment is really helpful too. If you see some weird icon or something, just include that. So submit.
Yeah. Just to go back to the instrument feedback, using the instrument feedback when, let's say, I'm not getting any sound or there's something weird in this legato, using the instrument feedback includes all of the details of what that instrument. So in this case, all Tycho's ensemble, part of LA Modern Percussion version 1.0, all that information is included so that Santi can immediately load it up, see, confirm, oh yeah, it's this, D3 50 velocity is weirdly loud or something like that.
Right.
Oh, I'm glad you're showing this.
I was just going to bring this up. For many of the instruments, and maybe Santi, it's not all of them, but like certainly for the third parties, this was such a cool thing. If you hover over these keys at the bottom, it now shows in the bottom left here. I don't know if you can see it. It's a little small. It'll show you what's mapped to that key here. Let me do something a little bit more. I don't think that instrument has it, but it'll tell you what's on that key. I'm sure I can find a better example, but
Maybe
know,
like a kit or
like-
all menu.
kit orchestral. This
All
means for
all
this.
key switch instruments too, by the way, automatically will do this now for you. So if you have a key switch instrument loaded, you mouse over the key switch, it'll tell you what that is.
Right. So you're pressing a key. You're like, what instrument is that? Well, it's a snare ensemble on hits, and this one is tom hits, and that's been so great.
Yeah, we want to add that to all of our percussion stuff as well. At the moment, I think it's on True Strike, Apocalypse Percussion, and the South African choirs. But we want to implement that for all released instruments, Sinn Samples instruments.
Great.
The group choir effects has it, yeah.
You'll also notice the keyboard is huge now. We used to limit it to an 88 key keyboard, but I think it was the Apocalypse Percussion. Their main
Correct.
menu goes beyond the standard 88 keys, so we expanded it out to support that. You can see there's slight graying for the keys that go beyond the standard 88 key. So, yeah.
That's a good point. Well, I do have a question that's come up, at least that I've heard. A lot of people want to change the location of where the key switches are. So here's a key switch patch. This one starts at C7. What's the plan
Yes.
there?
The plan is yes. We have plans
Okay.
to allow the user
Yeah.
to change that octave.
Yeah.
Just haven't got around to it yet.
That way you can move this little zone where the key switches are. You can push them or have everything in the same place. Or maybe you have an external keyboard that you use just for key switches or something.
Yeah, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Toby, but right now the key switch location is automatically placed based on the key range of the actual sounds. And we're going to limit the customization to outside of the 88 key, I believe. We'll get more details, but the idea is like get it out of the playable range. It'll be great for people who have maybe like a small little oxygen.
Well, it could be
key.
on the playable range too, depending on what the user wants.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, but it'll be user definable. So no promises as to exactly when that will come out, but it's on my list.
Send feedback if you've got a workflow you like. That helps. If you like, you use something like Lemur or Touch OSC, or you have a separate keyboard. Just please, more feedback, the better.
I think I just found something. It would be cool if I typed in Project Sam. I could just see the Project Sam stuff.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the store, the portal.musio.com filters are a little bit better than the current in-app ones, but we have plans to, maybe a drop-down filter by developers. We also have some broad categories: strings, brass, percussion, synths. Adding those filters into the in-app catalog are definitely on our timeline.
All right, looks like we got some more questions.
Missing sounds. We can talk
missing
about that
sound
real quick.
demos. Yeah, we mentioned this before. They're coming. They're coming.
Yeah,
They're coming.
Yeah.
Santi's on this call, so
Yeah.
Once he's done, he'll jump back on them. There's a lot that changed, and we're still catching up with our launch. But yeah, you should have sound demos for some third-party collections. More are on the way.
Great. Tina Guo, Erhu samples, will they be available? We're not sure. How do we say this nicely? Tina's
Last
amazing,
time-
but that sample library didn't come out as good as we were hoping. If I could be diplomatic about it, it's not, in terms of playability, it doesn't quite work, and so we left it out of Musio, right?
Yep, that's correct. Last time we talked about it, we decided to leave it out on purpose, and we think that we can record a better one. And we're just finding the moment to do that.
It was recorded in a very small room,
Mhm.
which for an instrument like that, needs a bigger room. I don't know why. It needs to be similar to the cello, So,
Frozen asked a follow-up question about
yeah.
opening up for more devs. Absolutely. We posted an email, developers@musio.com. We're still figuring, we've figured out a flow to get third-party content onto the platform, but as Mike said earlier, it's mostly friends, colleagues in this sampling world. So we're figuring out what's best for the platform. Definitely reach out. If you've got content that you think is exceptional, that you've built on a sample platform, you've done some QA on it, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for high quality and stuff that fits right into our catalog.
Great. And I think, I don't know if this went live yet, Santi. This is now, if you go to the Explore page, you'll be able to see all the new stuff, the new third-party instruments. They're all right here at the top. And then the new stuff from us, from Sinn Samples, I mean.
Mhm.
And then we got some new free stuff. This is the original harp that we recorded back in 2007. It was our very first sample library. And we're going to give it out for free. So enjoy.
Comes included.
All right, what else we got?
Let's keep going. Ooh, AI question. Remy Weisrock.
Yeah,
Are you currently in R&D regarding AI and trying to implement it to Musio to further complete the excellent, of course, quality of existing instruments? So this is touchy because generative AI is everywhere, and it's powerful for some cases, and we've definitely seen generative AI come into the music space, and it's impressive, but it just doesn't, at least this is me speaking in my opinion, hasn't quite hit the quality level we want. In terms of could AI be in Musio, it wouldn't be something that we distribute to you in the plugin. There's a world where maybe machine learning or just some very basic statistic stuff helps us build higher quality instruments. Maybe, help us tune, legato transitions have little dips in volume sometimes. Can we auto detect that and just adjust it? Or I don't know. There's definitely a realm of possibility for internal tools that take advantage of machine learning. But in terms of, I don't think we're going to generate samples with AI. I've seen there actually Native Instruments had a paper on using AI to generate quick samples, and it's definitely something big companies have explored. But again, the quality is just not there. The core quality we want Musio to have is these are real players with real skills in real rooms with high quality mics, and a sampler is a wave file or a series of wave files at the end of the day, and those have to be top tier. That's 99% of the product, and then we just bundle it up in a way that is inspiring to play.
Yeah, I have seen there are a lot of smaller companies trying to create AI instruments, and what it does is you send the MIDI data to the server, and then it sends back the performance of it, which is cool. And I've seen some that are pretty decent, but there's a few downsides to it, which is that it's not real time. I can't perform it live with my keyboard. You have to kind of create the MIDI first and then send the MIDI there, and then it kind of renders it back, which is fine, but it's kind of resource intensive too, and stuff. But maybe we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. There's so much about AI that's very gimmicky sometimes, but I think we have to be very careful about how we jump on that bandwagon. We're kind of staying old school right now, and I think that's the right path forward for now.
Yeah, AI is a little orthogonal to
Yeah.
Musio is just great content right in your computer, and AI is not a part of that right now.
Yeah. Maybe in the search that could be kind of interesting. Give me a combination of instruments that could be really cool. And it's like a chat bot, like, oh, here's 10 that we think is good.
There was a brainstorm of build me a rack of instruments that would fit this description, and it picks, oh, you want this flute, you want there's there's fun things that are adjacent to producing the music or the audio, or just helping you streamline some things. Maybe some, if you got some writer's block. But again, the core product that we're selling here is the highest quality recordings that AI really can't be a part of right now.
Yeah. Okay, our plan was kind of to go for an hour, so why don't we just knock out the rest of these questions, and we'll call it. Okay, so if you had to describe your marketplace in just 3 words, what would they be?
We used to use search, load, play.
Search, load, play. Yeah. Or search, buy, play.
Yeah, search, load, pay. No.
Let's see. If you could pick one dream artist to release a pack on Musio, who would it be? Yo-Yo Ma. That would be amazing.
Would be complete our
but-
cello collection.
Right. I don't know.
Jacob
Part of me
Collier
would
would be
want-
fun.
Jacob
Collier
Yeah,
would
that
be
would.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just get his
Right.
voices on a keyboard.
Back there.
Exactly.
Part of me wants a blaster beam.
Yeah, I've talked to him. His name is Huxley. Last name Huxley. What's his first name? But he invented that, which is basically the blaster beam that's used in the original Jerry Goldsmith soundtrack, Star Trek. And it's this giant spring, basically, that you hit with a triangle beater. And it's pretty neat.
That would be sick.
I think that would maybe let me reach out to him again. He's been very hard to. I don't know if he's into sampling. I understand why, because it's a very specific
Mhm.
sound. But maybe. Why there is no panning option? That's a good question.
Wait, there's no panning because when we were making those kinds of decisions, we didn't have a multi-timbral plugin, so you could only output to one output, and we didn't have mic positions, so there wasn't a huge need because you could pan it in your DAW. Now that we have multiple outputs and multiple mic positions, we recognize, there is a use case for panning. So coming sometime soon, but no immediate.
And then you're talking about panning the audio or panning like CC10, old school, which is usually
either
pan.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be a panner that you could automate with your CC if you wanted to, but yeah. Panning the audio.
Right. And there are different kinds of panning. I know for the longest time, Logic's default is technically a stereo balancer, where you're just adjusting the volume of each side.
Yeah.
But if you want right channel going into the left, that's a different kind of panner. So please submit feedback. If you got a workflow you like, we'll take that.
No,
into
it's definitely a
consideration.
necessity that I think we need.
For like your close dry, sometimes you want it.
Yeah.
Maybe you want it really wide. Yeah.
What's the worst case scenario you want to avoid with this marketplace?
Shovelware. You've said it a few times.
Yeah, I think so. We really want to have it be quality.
Mm-hmm.
We want people to trust that what's in there is good. That was the whole point, because you could just search the internet for stuff. Like you do that already.
Mm-hmm.
So.
No buyer's remorse.
Right.
No matter what you get, it's gonna be useful.
Mm-hmm.
Feedback about Musio feels better in the way of exploration of the instruments, but the preview of the instrument sounds is super short. Just super small legato sample is super unusable. Oh, I guess they're saying in terms of
the previews. Just
the previews are not long enough. Okay. The thing is, I mean, they can't be too long because there's like 3,000 of them, and it'll be a huge download for you if they were all like 3-minute demos. So I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Consider.
I'll be really brief in saying this. I've been working with Brandon. We're trying to brainstorm loose plans to add more details like Mike's walkthroughs or a PDF little description on, or maybe like a manual, include some like full composed demos for certain particular instruments, and just really anything we can add to help you make a decision if this is the right library for you in the marketplace. We're on board, so please send us again more feedback if you're into that. We need to talk to our third parties, but maybe having a 1-week license trial for each of the libraries might be in the future, and would most likely help you come to a decision to purchase it. So please feedback. Yes.
All right, let's quick knock these out. I would like to see a quick velocity curve editor in Musio. Okay.
Noted.
That's a tough one. Noted, but how easy is that?
I mean, for now, you could probably do it in your DAW unless you're trying to change the curves per instrument in your rack. I'm not sure what this.
That's a good point.
Case
you
is.
can do it in your DAW, yeah, or even in your keyboard. Some keyboards have it built in. but per instrument might be interesting. Are you going to add favoriting or such to better sort the collections in the app? Stuff like that. Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
Not
Yes.
sure exactly what it'll look like, but there will be a way for you to pin
That is
star your favorite ones.
I think that's a pretty common request, right? Will there be free libraries or possible features from Piano Book? Well, yes, there are free libraries. That's part of what we were talking about before, the Museo Essentials. So there's several collections that are free, even if you just download Museo for free, and you get things like the harp that I mentioned before, and
The Create series is there.
the Create series. Yeah, it's all right here. He has it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, let me share real quick. Yeah, it's all these free up until here. For now, we will add more stuff probably. Okay. All right, I think we're reaching the end here.
I was just going to say, Piano Book is awesome though. If you're not familiar, tons of free libraries that people have just built. Be great to get some stuff from there eventually.
I agree. That'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Brandon, someone just asked about track delay indicators, and I know you've pointed to a resource that has a PDF of that. I don't think we have a plan to add track delay indicators in the Museo app at the moment, but that resource is great.
Yeah, so I just posted the article in the chat. If you scroll down this Help Center article, you'll see a link to a spreadsheet. This was not made by us, but it was made by people outside of our company, but it has a good starting point for negative track delay. So, and these are on the contact instruments, but you can use it as kind of a starting point, and then just use your ear to see where you like it to sit.
Cool. All right, let's end with this last one. Pokester says, any plans for Cineperk Legacy? Yeah, we had these old libraries that are called Cinesnare, Cinetoms. What's the status on those?
That's also being added soon-ish. I have the samples sitting on my hard drive, and I just have to have some time to work on that.
And we'll need to decide, are they free or not? I'm cool with
I think so. I think that's part of Cine Legacy, you know.
Yeah. All right, let's officially decide now. They're free. They will be free. Done.
Nice. Done.
Cool. All right, that's it. We're good. Thank you all for tuning in, and please check out our Discord and check out Museo. But
let us know what you like, what you don't like.
Yeah, let us know.
Send us tickets.
Give us feedback. That Discord is really helpful for us too. So go hang out there and ask questions there too. But all right, we've just hit the starting line. Here we go. It's a new era for Museo. This is crazy. I'm excited. Okay. Take care, everybody.
All right.
Take care, everybody. See you.